Hey, my Taurus babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. Just kind of looking at my little setup here, trying to see how we looking. This is going to be Taurus and Scorpio sitting in a tree, Kissing, for the rest of June and the better half of July. I've already shuffled and cut the cards. Thank you to everybody that has liked, shared, and subscribed. I made it to 1,000 subscribers over the weekend. So you know I couldn't have done that without you. I'm over the top. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of y'all. I really do, and I love you for your time and your support. Those of you that haven't, all the little goodies is down there below. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Taurus and Scorpio. What the hell? So, before I put the cards on the table, let me just say this. This is going to be two stories because some of y'all are packing up and moving on. Others of y'all are unpacking and staying. Okay, so I had to get that part out the way. Depending on which relationship you're in with your Scorpio, those of you that are ending your relationship with your Scorpio, this is not one of them, I hate you, get the fuck out of my house type. It's not like that. Y'all are pretty chill. It feels like those of you that are calling it quits, it doesn't look like you're calling it quits for anything of your own accord. It just seems like a lot of other things in life have gotten in the way. And so there may be parents to take care of, kids going to school. It could be a gazillion different things, but this is not one of those things that feels like it's a bad ending, a nasty ending. For some of you, it may even at some point in the future come back together. So let's get the cards on the table. A reminder, I do my cards straight up. I don't do reversals. Healing and creativity. So you see the color? That's yellow, that's blue, depending on where you're at. See what we got for the recent past. Memories of love, accelerated motion, fertility, current energy, spiritual strength, centerpiece. And I don't like when Mr. Authorities show up because it means somebody got to be putting their foot down about something. Mental conflict. Those there. Future energy, hope, patience and planning, and music. Damn harmony. Alright. So let's see what the emotional cards have. Princess of Wands falls on healing and creativity. Pulls the Five of Cups. Memories of love. Pulls a Tower, accelerated motion, pulls the Eight of Cups, fertility, pulls the Two of Cups, spiritual strength, pulls the Eight of Swords, authority, pulls the Four of Swords, mental conflict, pulls the Seven of Wands, hope, pulls the Four of Wands, patience and planning, pulls the Queen of Coins, and music, pulls the Nine of Cups. Hey, the devil, you say. So what's important, on occasion I will say this because it is important. You only have one major card on the table and it's in your recent past. There is not another major card on the board. So this is, let me go back to what I said before I put the cards down. There's no final door slamming shut. Those of you that are splitting up, that's not here. And I wish, this is one of them times I wish I could just kind of throw my brain out there and just have it spin around so you can see what's going on. Two different stories, I'm telling you. And you can kind of see the differences. You're either dealing with fire on one side or cups on the other. The fire is the action. The cups are the emotion. You see where your cups are. You see where your fire is. Those of you that are, fire is definitely the action. It's definitely to get up and go. The cups is definitely the emotional, trying to mend whatever has gone on in the past. I see that tower back there. So some of you that are staying together may have recently gotten back together from a recent breakup. There's a lot of recent, I know. But that's where we're at. So let's take it from the top. Overall energy, Princess of Wands sitting on top of the healing. So those of you that are in your relationship with your Scorpio, the top end of your energy is that you're healing and you're trying to move forward, starting fresh. Those of you that are breaking up, you're trying to heal and move forward and start fresh. Woo. Back in. Creativity. And this is those of you that are staying. So those of you that are leaving, you may have this. You may be feeling like, what the fuck? How come this didn't work? How come we couldn't get the details of this worked out? Where was the creativity in all of this? How come we couldn't come up with a plan? Those of you that are remaining together, you may be in this Mercury retrogradian energy. Be reviewing what happened when you split up. The happy part about this is those two cups standing up in the back. There may have been some third party energy earlier. And so if you're staying together, you're kind of healing. If you're breaking up, it is just the cups. Not necessarily that there was third party energy anywhere. I don't feel like those of you, again, that are breaking up are really breaking up on anything malicious. It's just time and circumstances pulling y'all apart. And a lot of times, things like that happen in relationships because as individuals, one of the cards that I saw, one of the big cards that I saw when I was shuffling was a personal growth card. And a lot of times when you need to finish growing on your own or in a different set of circumstances, universe will pull you apart and you be standing there trying to figure out how the hell. But that's also a good indication that this could be a soulmate or a twin flame, however that's resonating with you. So whichever side of the story you're on here, just bear with me. I'm going to try and articulate in the middle of a Mercury retrograde both sides of the energy. So from the recent past, memories of love in the tower. Those of you that are splitting up, there may have been a big brouhaha, and this definitely is feeling like I don't want to move out my house. I don't want to go across country. I don't even want to go to the next state. But this is major energy. Definitely major energy. So those of you that are splitting up, this is really the shakeout. May have started happening a couple months ago. And of course, brought you to this point, talking about memories of love. Those of you, let me pick that back up, that are sticking around, the same can be said. You may have had an argument or a fight. One of you may just say, fuck it, I'm leaving. And you left and you decided to come back. Okay, so that brings us here with accelerated motion. Those of you that are splitting up, here we go with them. Once you got past this, which doesn't seem like it was a very long time, it just things picked up. And for one of the both of you, it was about getting out of the emotional turmoil and cups and just trying to get onto some firm footing in your mind, emotionally, because you can feel, especially if you're deciding to walk away from something, you can just feel where this was going to tear you up. So a lot of you just jumped in and said, fuck it, okay, I got to move, I need to do this, and this. And so there is your accelerated motion. Those of you that decided to take the car around for another spin, looking at the emotional issues, once again, looking at those cups. And once you decided you were going to be in for the long haul, things just start happening right away. You decide they're going to stay together, things just start picking up right away. At the end of this, there's a deep connection between the two if you are splitting up. Just know that. Those of you that are trying to stick it out, the fertility of it all. There may be, for some of you, this ain't going to resonate with everybody. Eat the fish, leave the bones. Some of you may be deciding on a family, starting a family. Some of you may be already pregnant. Others of you, it may not be about the babies, but you may be thinking about buying a house together, piece of property, maybe renting a place together. But it's the fertility. And that's that incubation period of, okay, we've been through all of this. This is what we're going to do. Once again, those of you that are splitting up, it's about that new creation, new ideas coming forth. Doesn't mean you don't love this person at all. It just means you got to move forward. Which brings us into our current energy. Some of you are in your heads, and this is Taurus right here. We had a lot of air on the board yesterday for the Taurus Weekly. And for all the changes that Taurus has been through in the past year, I get this. You know, sometimes it's just easier to put them damn blinders on and say, fuck it. I'm going to act like ain't none of this shit going on, and I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep believing in what I believe. And sure enough, as soon as you say that, here come 50 things and knock them blinders right the hell up off your face. Hence the spiritual strength. And many of you individually, I'm talking to Taurus and Scorpio now, may have just been kind of amping up whatever it is that you do. Meditating, journaling, yoga, hiking, whatever that thing is that binds you to the spirit. You've been trying to just rack up on that because so many other things are going on outside of your relationship. If you haven't started doing this, you should. And so whatever spiritual strength is to you, sometimes it's just taking moments out of every day and meditating and recentering yourself and girding yourself against all the bullshit that's going on in the world, so you can have some left over for your relationship. However, those of you that are breaking up, Taurus, don't get stuck. Just don't get stuck. The inclination may be, well, damn, this didn't work out. And it's hard when you break up, and this sounds tacky as hell, but I'm going to say it anyway. Sometimes it's hard when you break up when there's not a third party situation, or there's not some mean melodrama going on, because you can focus your attention. That bitch, what you doing with her? What you doing with him? I don't know, what he do better than me? That kind of energy. Sometimes you need that energy to focus on getting up out of whatever shit you may happen to be in. I'm just putting it out there. But when you don't have that, and it is just because I got a job over here, my parents need me back home, or my family, or I need to go to school for a minute, or I need to dip out and go deal with whatever, and we can't do this while this is happening because it's just not going to work for whatever reason, it's easy. Put them blinders on and be like, you know what, I'm going to just act like ain't none of this shit going on. However, you need to find something, whatever that thing is that binds you to your spiritual practices. You need to bone up on your spiritual practices, whatever they are. Especially if you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you're trying to hang on to some shit that's not hang-onable. Those of you that are staying in a relationship, you can't come to the new part of this relationship, chapter number 10, talking about shit from chapter number 2. I'm just saying. Holding on to that old shit, putting them blinders on and forgetting that this is a renewal, and you just going through and doing what you've been doing. Centerpiece. Typical Mercury retrograde type activity on the phone. Anyway, your centerpiece, the authority. And whichever way you're dealing with your situation, if you're staying together, you ain't staying together, whatever, however that's rolling for you. Just know, Taurus, I'm talking to you now, you're the authority on the relationship. That's not excluding Scorpio, but when it comes to things that need to be done, whichever direction you're going in, staying with them, breaking up, moving, changing houses, however, you're the authority. So you're going to have to take the lead on a lot of stuff, particularly if you're breaking up. The rest and relaxation card is what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to just flow through this without overthinking too much. Either way, either side of the spectrum that you're on, staying together, not staying together, you're going to need to just breathe through this, because if you try to rush, hurry up, move, do some other craziness, especially in all of this retrograde energy, you have 5 planets by the end of this week, Neptune, I think tomorrow goes, which would be the 23rd, goes retrograde. So you got all these planets, Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, even though Venus goes stations direct on Thursday, you still got a lot of just retrograde energy floating around. So with that said, you know, you could have a lot of different things coming at you from a lot of different people, a lot of different perspectives. Those of you that are staying together, come down here. That activity, moving up. Some of y'all might be thinking about tying a knot. There's going to be people that's got conversation for you. But y'all just broke up and got back together. How y'all doing that? You're going to have to tune all of that out in order for you to make the kind of decisions you need to make to bring it back together, or for it to completely pull apart successfully without it being a whole big messy ass shitstorm. You're going to have to take a step back and breathe. Take the lead where you need to take the lead, and that 4 is about stability. And Taurus is all about that damn stability. So you may have to take the lead in certain areas of whichever, staying or going, and just breathe through it, do what you need to do, and keep it moving, not getting stuck or caught up in your head on some bullshit. I'm just saying. So remember, just throughout, from now probably to this time next month, just breathe through the difficult parts. There are going to be some difficult parts, even if you're coming back together. Because other people, while the two of you, Taurus and Scorpio, may be on the kissy makeup shit, everybody else is going to remember, y'all just broke up, and they may try to test you with some bullshit. What you get back with him for? Or what you get back with her for? How come? Yeah, you might have to hear all that. You need to tune it out, breathe through it, keep it moving. Don't get caught up, that's air. Don't get caught up in your head with a bunch of bullshit stuck on stupid. Moving forward. It's just continuation of what I'm saying to you. You have to defend what you're doing. A lot of people, those of you that may be breaking up, you know, what y'all breaking up for? Y'all a perfect couple. Not knowing the details of what you got going on in your relationship, why you're splitting up, whatever the reason is, you may have to defend what's going on. Conversely, the same, those of you staying together, what y'all staying together? Same energy. Breathe through it. Stand up and say what you need to say when you need to say it. I wouldn't just be randomly looking for picking fights with folks that you know are going to disagree with you one way or the other. But when you hear something directly, deal with it then. Don't let shit fester. Defend your stance, because this is your life. I say this all the time. Taurus, you in particular. This your shit. Ain't nobody else got to put up with, deal with, sleep with. Come on now. Nobody but you. So everybody talking all that shit, popping smack and yin-yang in your ear, they tell them to step the fuck off, mind their business, so that you don't put yourself in a position of mental conflict. And other people are good for this shit right now. I ain't even gonna bring up no examples. Y'all see the same shit that I see. The facts. And people just spout off shit, and they don't have the facts. And now we talking about your personal relationship, and people just making comments and stray thoughts coming out their mouth and shit. And that can do some damage on you mentally and cause mental conflict. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. Defend your shit. Say what you need to say. Fluff your tail up, fart in their face, and keep it moving. And I mean that seriously. Anybody that's going to pop off like that, don't let them set the tone for your future situations in your relationship. Some of you may have some of that around you. People trying to influence on the bullshit tip. Get to future energy. That hope card down there. Those of you that are breaking up, just what I said at the beginning. This may not be the end of it. This may just be a temporary blip on the screen, and you come back together at some later point. Those of you that are staying together, look for the positives. Don't dwell on. Get a new story. I hope that card pops up for the oracles. Get a new story. Don't start talking about what happened the day before y'all broke up. It's unnecessary. Look for the light. Look for the good. Stay positive. So on this next leg of your journey with your Scorpio, you're starting it off in the right kind of energy. Some of you may be thinking about marriage. Those of you that are parting ways, there may be other advances, not necessarily romantic, but now that you're free, you may have more time, which in turn may lead to a promotion or a leadership position. That authority card is still there on the table. So if it's on the table, it's in play. And it may help propel you to something better in your professional future. Again, those of you that are staying together, I hear conversations about rings. So you may be looking for an engagement ring, a promise ring, however that's resonating with you. Whatever you do, you may be at that point. This is future energy, so we're going to say probably towards the middle of next month, after some of this retrograde stuff settles down. Mercury will be out of retrograde, Venus will be out of retrograde, and Venus in particular for Taurus, once Venus goes direct, you will be able to see much clearer your path moving forward. With the Queen of Coins, about the stability. So once you get past all of this, whatever you're doing, some of you Taurus are going to have to get back to doing you, making some changes. It may require, not going to be may, it will require patience and planning. And this is not the patience card about you being patient solely for you, but this is about being patient through the process, trying to build something here. Those of you that are splitting up, you're trying to rethink your future. For some of you, you may get with somebody else. That's not an improbability at this point. But it's going to take some time, take some real healing for some of you, because this may be one of those things where this wasn't what you were expecting for this year to happen. Those of you that are staying together, of course, if you're talking about getting married, getting engaged, these are the foundation blocks, the building blocks. This is where you start putting things into motion. You start planning things out and then start putting them into motion. Definitely once you get out of Mercury retrograde, things will pick up quite a bit. But you're still going to have to be patient. Plan your work and work your plan. Taurus, you may, at the outset of this, if you're staying together, you may have to be in charge of the money and all things home and hearth, taking care of things at home while your Scorpio goes ahead and does whatever it is they do. And there may be a period of time where you're just kind of reorganizing and bringing things back together if you split up, physically split up. For others of you, it may be a thing of rethinking some things, because in the middle of said breakup, you may have changed jobs or something else. And so you really going to have to just take your time. But Taurus, this is going to be on you for a minute. And not so much from a financial aspect, but more about the stability. Again, that 4 underneath my 4 swords, actually the 4 swords on the 4, it's about you having to take that leadership position and just hold the damn fort down until things settle down. At the end of all of this, whichever way you're going, with or without your Scorpio, there will be a sense of harmony in your life. Once you get through all of this, whether you're staying or going, it won't be all that discordant, loud blaring in your ear. It will be a little more melodious. That 9 symbolizing the end of this cycle, completing everything that you need to complete, saying everything that you need to say. Yep, I said that part right there. Because we are still in Mercury retrograde, and that energy is going to schlep around to the end of July. I believe it goes direct July 12th. So you'll have another 10 or 14 days of re-traveling through the shadow period with Mercury. And of course, Mercury's a clown, and he is really clowning this time. So just know better days are coming. This is your hint that better days are coming. Let's see what the Oracle cards have for you, Taurus and Scorpio. This is not a bad reading. I have seen cards deliver much worse information on breakups, for real. So As far as breakups go, this is probably just going to be more painful because you got to do it. It's got that note to it. It feels like that. It's some shit you really don't want to do, but you got to do it because everybody got different things going on. And it's just not a tenable situation for the two of you to stay together at this point. But don't close the door all the way, Taurus. I'm talking to you now. Don't shut the door all the way. Walk it off. Right here. Taking that step back and taking a breath. Dealing with people, you got to defend your shit. You may have to take a 5-minute break. Walk it off. Because some dummy done said some old dumb shit to you about your relationship and they done overstepped their bounds. And instead of you being the proverbial bull in the china shop, you may need to just walk it off. Don't let anybody get you so off point. And as I say that, I noticed the angel back here in the picture. Just know you're always guarded and protected. So, you know, even if you can't get out what you're trying to say without sharpening your horns, just walk it off. Know the universe has you through this process. Let's see what else we got. Expect the best. Whichever way we coming and going, staying, leaving, however, expect the best. And when you expect the best, you get the best. If you breaking up, expect the best. Don't expect, you know, the house to be on fire, the car to be sitting on bricks or some shit. Because y'all breaking up. Expect the best. And I believe for most of you, if you are parting ways, it will be amicable and it won't be all knives and darts and shit flying out the door. Not to say it won't be painful. Either way, if you're staying, expect the best. There's that plus and that minus up there at the top. I had never seen that before. There's the minus sign right there. There's the plus sign. If you're leaving or if you're staying, expect the best. Instant feedback. And again, this is just really harkening back to here. You know, you go for Sunday dinner. Social distancing, of course. Go for Sunday dinner and you may hear something and you're going to want to provide some instant feedback. That's hearing this what I said a little while ago. If you hear something, don't let it fester. Get it out there. For others of you, you may need to get with your crew. You know who your crew is, the one that does not mind telling you your slip hanging. That crew. You may need to get with them to get some instant feedback, get some support, some moral support for whatever that's worth. Just some support for whatever you're doing, whether you're staying with your Scorpio or breaking up. You may need to just get with them and get some of that instant feedback. That's okay. Everything breaks down. Somebody might say that to you, or that's awesome, you guys got back together. But it's that instant feedback that kind of helps you, morale booster, kind of helps you just putter along and keep things moving. If you need to do it, do it. And I think I'm going to pull the granny cards out. See what granny got for us today. I called these granny cards. My mother's mother was Creole. She always had some little saying about something, anything. So when I did these, she was very much on my mind and in my heart. So that's why I call them the granny cards. Now let's see what granny got to say today. You can do better. You can do better. I don't know how that's going to resonate with some of you. Somebody needs to hear that. But if you are ending this relationship, this is not solely about you can find another person and do better. No. This is really about you can do better. You can. You can do better at handling breakups. You can do better at handling things coming back together, because some of y'all might be a hot mess right now. And that's to be expected, considering everything that's going on. There is no shame. If your shit is hanging out, it's hanging out. Mine is. I just put it out there. If I look crazy today, well, damn it, you turn the news on. Help yourself. This is very difficult energy that we're living in right now. So just know you can do better. Sometimes we say things that we don't mean to say, and we can do better on that, on our communicating. Sometimes we leave things unsaid. We can do better in that department. So this is not just about, you can do better than that. No, this is about you can do better. You can handle this situation better. You can deal with this situation better. This is particularly resonating in my head for those of you that are parting ways. You can act better, you can do better. Let's see what else we got. I'm gonna let them fall out where they are. Are they ghosting you? Now, somebody needs to hear that. For some of you breaking up, there may be an element of this. And the ghosting, let me say this, the ghosting is not about them having another person. You really got to get with people when they're doing things that they really don't want to do. A lot of times that takes them out of their comfort zone. Not a lot of times, all the time. It takes people out of their comfort zones when they're doing things that they have to do, but they really don't want to do. And to take this trucking job, I'm going to be gone 6 months out the year. I don't want to be worried about a relationship, however that's resonating with you. And sometimes people can't communicate what they need to communicate because they're just as devastated and hurt as you are. So instead of calling back, those of you that may not be living together, are they ghosting you? It's not so much are they ghosting you, it's because they aren't able to talk at this point. It's too much emotional. There's a lot of water on the board. And that's definitely Scorpion energy. Are they ghosting you? And maybe you need to understand, not necessarily that they're ghosting you, they don't have the words right now. So this might be for that small cross section of you, y'all done live together, but you've been dating for a minute, and now they're just gone. You knew the breakup was coming, but they just gone. Not so much about the ghosting. It may feel this way, but a lot of times you just have to have some understanding. And again, that's where this 4 comes from. Taking a break, taking a breath, stepping back and looking at the situation for what it's worth and understanding that it's just as painful for them as it is for you. Do you? Do you? Oh, that's right. Read a book. Let me go back to this one. Read a book. Some of you may need some help. Whether it's getting back together or parting, you may need to get a book, a self-help book, to help you deal with or maybe enlighten you about something. I feel like a lot of you got some karmic energy going on here. And with that said, there may be things going on, especially with a breakup, that you're just clueless about that book. So be open to reading or learning about a different perspective or learning something about your situation that you may be unaware of at this point. At the end of all of that, do you, baby? Do you? If you are happy with your Scorpio, happy y'all that got back together regardless of whatever the circumstances were for the breakup, do you? If y'all are breaking up, do you? You can't do nothing but stay in your own lane and do you. It is what it is. As unfortunate and crass as it sounds, shit does happen sometimes, and it does cause things to happen. Those of you that are getting back together, whatever this little tower moment was up here, shit does happen. It just does. Fuck it. But if you love each other, it shouldn't be, and you can stay together, there's nothing pulling you apart, then work on it. Make it go. Make it do what it do. Taurus and Scorpio, I love you guys. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all.